So guys, believe it or not, we're actually not outside right now. It might have fooled some of you, but not me. We're actually indoors. See, they painted the roof the color of the sky, and they do that to trick you. So don't get tricked. That's all I got. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the vlog. As always, I'm Dookie Betts. Today we've got Bankroll Challenge episode number 6. In this challenge, we're trying to win $10,000 in 400 hours playing live low-stakes poker this summer. Our challenge totals look like this so far, so we're down about $1,000. We played one session off camera yesterday. It was the day we got into Vegas. We got this hand in versus that hand, and that hand doesn't beat that hand all the time, so we lost $650 in a rather quick session yesterday. Aside from that, nothing really happened. I actually thought we played fairly decent, but you know, ace king versus king, such is life. Things happen. So today's going to be our first full day in Vegas. For those of you who don't know, there's a lot of casinos in Las Vegas. So our primary objective today, we're going to go to a casino, we're going to buy poker chips, and we're going to turn said poker chips into more poker chips, resulting in us winning money. It's a pretty simple formula, really. As long as we can succeed in that endeavor, I'll be happy. Today we're going to be playing 2 sessions. We're going to film at 2 different locations. I'm not entirely sure where we're going yet, but you guys will see in just a second. I think that's all I really got. If you guys like the videos and you want to see more, go down below, follow me on Instagram. Let's hop into a poker session, and as always, let's turn some sand into gold. We hop into the session at around 12:30 in the afternoon. We go the first 30 or so minutes playing small, uninteresting hands, which resulted in us losing a couple bucks here. Our first big hand of the day comes right at 1 o'clock. We're in the small blind here when we see the hijack player open the action to $10. It's gonna fold over to us. We peel ace king of clubs and put in the mandatory 3-bet to $45. It's gonna get back over to the hijack player, who very quickly grabs a handful of red chips and just fires them into the middle. I started the hand with about 263 bucks in my stack, which is good for about 90 big blinds. I think we have a super straightforward get in here with ace king suited, so after not much consideration, we jam, and the hijack player snaps us off with pocket jacks. We're gonna be flipping here for a bit over $500. So far on the trip, we're 0 for 1 with ace king, which means in gambling terms, we're due for a win. Yeah, not much of a sweat on that one. Jack right in the window. We're going to be 0 for 2 with ace king in Las Vegas so far. Ace king's a drawing hand, I guess. We make a very generous donation to the 1-3 game, pretty quickly pick up and move to the 2-3 game, which is pretty much the exact same thing, except it's a $600 cap as opposed to $300. So the game does get a bit bigger, plays a bit deeper, and I overall think that the action over there is just going to be a lot better. So we decide to move, play a little bit bigger, and we're now playing 2-3 600 cap at the Venetian. That brings us to hand number 2 of the session. In this hand, we're playing a $10 PLO double board bomb pot. We peel queen queen jack deuce with queen high spades and head 6 ways to the flop here. On the first board, we get queen 5-3 two-tone, and on the second board, we get jack 10-10 with 2 spades. Obviously a super good start here. We flop the exclusive nuts on the top board, as well as top pair with a flush draw on the bottom. Playing out of the small blind here, we're just going to be checking it over to our opponents, who all check their option over to the button player. With $60 in the middle, the button fires out for nearly pot, going $45. I think our hand just wants to pile money in now, so when it's our turn to act, we fire in $195, which is good for pot. This is going to fold out everybody in the hand except the button player, who eventually flicks in the call. Heads up to the turn, we get the 9 of hearts up top and then the 4 of diamonds down below. We retain the nuts up top and not much changes at all down below. This player has about 280 behind, and I'm looking to get all of the money in now. All in. A top set and a jack and a flush draw. So yeah, we ended up making trip jacks on the bottom board. I'm not sure if we needed it given that he didn't show his hand, but either way, we end up scooping a 1k pot here, which is a super amazing result, and we're now up on the session today. About 20 minutes later, we're headed into another PLO double board bomb pot. This time we have the entire table playing, so we're playing 9-handed with about $90 up for grabs in the middle. We peel 10-7-6-5 with 2 suits, and get flops of Queen 3 deuce rainbow board, as well as 7-7-5. We flop a gut shot to the nuts up top, as well as top full house on the bottom. We see a couple of checks from the early position players, and when it gets over to the middle position player, he fires out for $90 going pot. It's gonna fold over to me here, and I decide to just call and continue to navigate this hand in position. The +2 player also comes along, so we're headed to the turn going 3 ways. The turn rolls off the ace of spades up top, and then the 6 of clubs down below. We pick up a flush draw that may or may not be live up top, as well as improve from top boat to an even bigger boat on the bottom board. The +2 player who check called on the flop is now going to put the rest of his chips in the middle, amounting to $36, and quickly after that, the middle position player is going to jam for $230. Obviously, we're not going anywhere here. We have the nuts down below. We flick in the money. When it's all said and done, we have a main pot worth about $468 and a side pot against MP for $388. The run out comes fairly clean, and we end up chopping everything up with middle position, who had 2-2 for bottom set on the top board. We get to chop up the +2 player's money, so this hand is good for a nice win of about $100. Shortly after this hand, all of the cash games at the Venetian abruptly get broken due to a high number of tournament entries in their daily tournament that they were running. This is a bit unfortunate for us because our game seemed fairly soft, and I felt as though I was playing quality poker, but it is what it is. We're gonna end up booking a nice win here of $305 in about an hour and a half. Following this unanticipated early end to our session, JQ and I decided to head over to the Bellagio and continue our cash game adventures over there. We go the first hour without doing much, mainly just playing small, uninteresting pots. Our first hand of the day comes at 5:13 at night. We see the hijack player open the action to $12. We peel pocket 5s on the button and decide to flat call in attempts to set mine. Our flat from the button prompts the small blind to come in behind, so we're headed 3 ways to the flop with about $40 in the middle. We get a beautiful flop of King 8-5 rainbow board. We flop bottom set on a very dry, disconnected board here, so we're certainly feeling good about our hand so far. We see both the small blind player and the hijack check it over to us. I really see no reason to slow play this hand here. We're unblocking all of the top pair and second pair combos, so there's plenty of value to be gotten here from worse hands. We fire out for $20 going about half pot. In hindsight, I should probably be going a little bit smaller here, but it is what it is. Following our bet, we see the small blind fold, and then the hijack puts in the check raise to $50. I think on some board textures, there's definitely merit in fast playing our hand and just trying to get all of the money in now, but on the super dry, disconnected board, there's not going to be many action-killing turn cards. Additionally, this player has been rather wild so far today, so if this player has an airball bluff, we certainly want to keep those hands in the mix. We decide to put in the call here, and we're gonna head to the turn. The turn rolls off the 3 of clubs, which really changes absolutely nothing. The hijack keeps his foot on the gas here and moves all in for $90. Obviously, we snap this one off. To the river we go with about $320 in the middle. We get a rather clean river card, and this hijack player flips over ace-jack offsuit for a very ambitious bluff. I'm glad that we found the just call on the flop here, and we're able to pull in a super nice pot rather early in the session. About another hour goes by, and we play our next hand of the vlog at 6:30 at night. It folds over to us in the cutoff. We peel ace-queen offsuit and open the action to $10. It folds over to the big blind, who finds the 3-bet to $40. I think 4-bet bluffing with this hand is super viable, but after some consideration, I decided to just call. We get a flop of King Jack 8 rainbow board. We see the big blind continue for $20, going about quarter pot. We have a gut shot to the nuts, so for such a good price, we decide to flick it in and reevaluate on the turn. The turn comes the ace of clubs, and we improve to top pair. The big blind once again continues for $65, going about half pot. Once again, I think we have a pretty straightforward call here, so we flick it in and head to the river. The river rolls off the king of spades, which I don't really love. However, I'm not sure how much king x this player is going to be barreling with on the turn. After a very long tank from the big blind, he eventually checks it over to us. I consider my options for a very long time. I think value betting here seems rather thin, and I'm not entirely sure what worse hands are willing to call a bet on the river. After a bit of consideration, I decide to check it back here. We take our showdown and we're good against pocket tens. Obviously, it's unlikely that this exact hand would have called a value bet on the river, so if we're being results oriented, I think our check back here is fine. But let me know what you guys think about this hand in the comments below. And that's going to bring us to our last hand of the session, which takes place about 2 hours later. The last 2 hours have been a bit stale. We've taken a couple breaks and haven't really been involved in very many big pots. In this hand, we see the cutoff player open things up to 12 bucks. The small blind's going to flick it in, and we peel 10-6 of spades in the big blind and decide to complete the action. We get a very nice flop of ace-10-6 with 2 hearts. The small blind and myself decide to check it over to the original raiser, who thinks for a bit and then eventually comes with a rather large size of $25. The small blind's going to get out of the way, and it's back over to us here. I think we have a pretty easy raise here. If this player has a top pair or a flush draw holding, I think it's rather unlikely that he's going to fold. So for that reason, we decide to put in the check raise to $100 in attempts of setting up a turn jam. After a bit of tanking, the villain in the cutoff decides that he doesn't want to fold, but he also doesn't want to call either. He moves all in for $286. As played, our 2-pair here is going to be one of the best hands we can have, so obviously we're never folding. We flick in the call. Our friend in the cutoff rolls over 6-4 of hearts for bottom pair plus flush draw. Against this hand, we're roughly a 2-1 favorite, but we still need to fade some hearts here in this $600 pot.
Very good. Oh.
Fortunately enough for us, we're able to hold. We scoop in this nice pot and add about $300 in profit to our stack. We play in this game for a bit longer after this, but eventually I got pretty hungry and the action was beginning to diminish. We decide to call it a night after a few more orbits, and we're gonna book a super nice win here of $240 in about 4.5 hours of work. Alright fellas, that's going to wrap it up today. All in all, we played for like 6 hours. We played an hour and a half at the Venetian, and then we played like 4.5 hours over at...
The Bellagio.
That was the Bellagio?
That was the Bellagio.
Yeah, it felt like it was like just like somebody's living room with like a nice sports book, but apparently it was the Bellagio. They stuck me out in the corner to... They didn't like me, I guess.
Not good looking enough for the main room.
Yeah, couldn't get into the main room, but we had fun. We played sort of well, I think. So yeah, plus 305 over at the Venetian, plus 240 over at the Bellagio. All in all, my math skills aren't good, so it's over here or somewhere. We had a pretty solid day. I'm going to be using Left Pocket Bankroll Tracker for the entirety of this challenge. If you guys want to go check out Left Pocket, I highly suggest doing so. I think it's the best bankroll tracking app on the App Store. Go use the link down below. And yeah, go check it out. It's good stuff. But yeah, it's going to bring the challenge totals to about this. So as you guys can see, we're down like 400 or something on the challenge over probably 95 hours. Doing all this live, haven't really looked at it yet. So, you know, we're clawing back. We're doing halfway decent. We had a good session today. We have a couple more days out in Vegas, and we're going to go win some more money the next couple days. So if I had to guess, the next few sessions are also filmed in Las Vegas, Nevada. So if you want to see more content like that, make sure to go down below, hit the subscribe button, push the notification bell, and I'll see you guys next week for the next episode. As always, guys, I'm Dookie Betts.